guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Now in today's video, guys, I'm going to be telling you my thoughts on the new 6th anniversary announcements as well as the new killer chapter that released. Basically giving you my thoughts on the new killer, what I think about his power, what I think about the perks for the new killer and survivor, the new map, and the new 6th anniversary announcements, what's to come within this next year of Dead by Daylight. But other than that, just a couple of few announcements. School is going to be ending within a few days, which means I'll obviously have more time to do videos and stuff like that. So, for upcoming videos, I'm probably going to be continuing off of the horror slasher killer matchups. Otherwise, I don't know of any other big releases quite yet. And then, hopefully, after school is done, hopefully maybe the night that school ends or the weekend of this weekend, I'm going to be streaming some more Evil Dead, so stop by and say hello there. Otherwise, read the community post so that you can stay up to date with any potential future changes, upcoming videos, stuff like that, and join the Discord. Link is in the About section of the YouTube channel. Otherwise, let's get on to the main section of this video. So first, I want to talk about the new killer, talk about his new power as well as his new, as well as the new perks that came with it. So the new chapter is Chapter 24, Roots of Dread, and the killer is the Dredge. He's got all of the basic attributes of many of the other killers: 150 regular movement speed, regular tear radius, all that kind of stuff. So nothing too big there. Disregarding his lore, for his perks, I want to talk about the perks and then I'll talk about the power. So for his new perks, we've got Dissolution, which basically makes it so that after you hit a survivor for about, it looks like 20 seconds in Tier 3, when the survivor vaults a pallet, a drop pallet, it will break the pallet automatically. I don't think this is going to be a super overpowered perk, but it can be just kind of a nice thing to use in chase, kind of like Spirit Fury. It's just kind of nice to not have to break the pallet. So it's not going to be super OP or anything, but definitely an interesting chase perk. And then we got Darkness Revealed, which I've been hearing people say this is like really overpowered and it's like free information and stuff like that. And I completely disagree with that. It says, when you search a locker, the auras of survivors within 8 meters of any locker are revealed to you for 5 seconds in Tier 3. And then it has a cooldown of 30 seconds, of course. I think this perk, as some people have said, will work really nicely on killers who have to search lockers throughout the game so that they can reload their power, such as Huntress and Trickster, of course. For those killers, this will be really nice because throughout the game, when you are having to search lockers, you can get free information, basically. And it's pretty much guaranteed you're going to see somebody, most of the time somebody, at least one of the survivors, is going to be near a locker and you're going to get free information. And if you're a good Huntress, especially a Huntress, not so much Trickster, but if you're a good Huntress, this perk could even help you get cross-map snipes and stuff like that. But on any other killer, I think it's just a little bit inconvenient to have to search a locker. It's not that big of a hassle, but searching a locker just so that you can get not the best information, I mean, it's not guaranteed, obviously, but the way I see it, most of the time you're probably only going to see 1 or 2 survivors' auras when using this perk. So I would say only use it on like Trickster or Huntress. Any other killer, unless you're going to run Iron Maiden with it, you don't really need to use this perk. There's other aura reading perks that are probably going to be better. And then probably the worst out of the 3 perks, in my opinion, is Septic Touch. I forgot a part of this. It says, whenever a survivor performs a healing action while they are inside your tear radius, they suffer from the blindness and exhausted status effect, and then it lingers for 8 seconds after the healing action is interrupted. It's alright. I mean, combined with certain perks like Sloppy Butcher, Nurse's Calling, obviously if you put this perk into a build, yes, you're probably going to get value out of it, but any other situation, are you really going to be using this perk, you know, to actually make an impact on your game other than just in some funky build? Probably not. So, yeah, his perks, pretty good. I would say the best out of them is Darkness Revealed, definitely, because it can work on any killer. It's pretty universal. But I would recommend that you use it on those killers that do need to reload at lockers. Now talking about his power, which is Reign of Darkness. Basically, what he can do is up to 3 times he can teleport to a locker, and I've actually thought about this idea as having a killer have his power centered around lockers, and I never really understood a way that you could make this work, but the devs came up with a nice way that I certainly would have never came up with. And basically, the Dredge's main power is that he can teleport to lockers, and once he teleports to a locker for the first time, I believe he can teleport 2 additional times, if not 3 additional times, without having to exit the locker. But he can choose to exit the locker at any time, and there is a little bit of counterplay to this power. The survivors can actually lock the lockers to make it take longer for you to exit the locker once you teleport to it. And you can destroy these locks if you hit them with your like, literally just hit them with your weapon if you ever see a locked locker. And what else? And then the final part about it is that once he teleports to enough lockers, a meter will build up, and it will, eventually when the meter's all the way filled up for the survivors, nightfall will occur. And what he can do in nightfall is basically he can teleport to lockers a lot faster, and from the survivors' perspective, the map is a lot darker, so they can't see from far distances. Now, I'm not sure if they've fixed this bug yet, but from what the devs announced a couple days after the release that nightfall is bugged, and I don't think it's dark enough. I don't know if they've fixed it yet in the PTB, but so far what I can see from nightfall is that the survivors can't see from far distances. They can only see kind of close up. But when the killer is near them, the Dredge he's got kind of like this white aura around him. And it's the same thing for the Dredge. The survivors kind of have this like white aura around him that makes it easier for them to see, or makes it easier for him to see the survivors. And he's also undetectable in nightfall, I believe, as well. So, I don't know if they've fixed nightfall yet or anything like that. Let me take a look at nightfall real quick. It says, whenever a healthy survivor is injured, a survivor is hooked, or the Dredge uses his teleportation power, the nightfall meter builds. Okay, so it's not only when he teleports. Okay, and then it says the nightfall meter fills faster for each survivor in the injured state. Once the nightfall meter is full, nightfall begins automatically, forcing survivors to navigate in near total darkness. Nightfall ends after 60 seconds, so it lasts 60 seconds. Survivors destroying the remnant will reduce that time. So, basically what the remnant is, I forgot to mention this as well. Basically, the remnant is when he teleports to a locker, there's like a little particles that stay after he teleports. And the survivors can, I believe, walk through the remnant. There's some kind of way to destroy the remnant. And by doing this, the survivors can reduce the time of nightfall during nightfall. So, yeah, and then it says, during nightfall, the Dredge benefits from the following effects. He's undetectable, and then he can teleport to lockers with a shorter cooldown. Okay. And then movement speeds, teleports, okay, blah, 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 blah. That's just random numbers. So, I'm not sure. I don't think they fixed Nightfall yet. I think they're waiting to fix Nightfall until it comes out into the live servers, in which Nightfall, from what I've seen from the PTB so far, the survivors cannot see from far distances from this bugged Nightfall, as far as I'm concerned. So, considering we're going to get an unbugged Nightfall, Nightfall is looking pretty scary for the survivors. It is going to be a pretty dark for them, because even just this Nightfall that is bugged is still pretty good. They can't see from really far distances, which can be a hindrance sometimes. So, yeah, what can I say about the Dredge? At first, when I saw his power teleporting to lockers, I was like, this is completely stupid. And then when I saw it actually go into gameplay, I was like, this is amazing. I never thought that a power for a killer being able to use lockers in a certain way was ever going to work, but the devs somehow made this work. And basically, to sum it up, in my best words, would be that the Dredge is just a much better version of Sadako, because obviously there's more lockers throughout the map, and it seems like he can teleport faster. He's also got a better side power. Sadako's side power is basically the manifest and defense manifest, which doesn't really work in Chase so well. But with the Dredge, I'm confident that killers can get good enough to be able to use this locker teleportation in Chase pretty well, and it can be pretty scary. So, yeah, there's definitely going to be a high skill cap for being able to use that in Chase, and I would really, really like to see that. So that's basically my thoughts on the new killer's power. I know there was something I was missing. Not sure what it was. The only concern I have about this killer is that on certain maps, especially the game, there's going to be certain spots on the map where you're not going to be able to teleport too often. In the game, there's only about, like, maybe 4 lockers on... There's only a couple of spots where I can think lockers spawn on the top floor of the game. So there's going to be a couple maps... I think it's really just the game that's probably going to be the issue. There's only a couple maps that I can think of where teleporting to lockers, there's going to be certain spots where he's not going to be able to teleport to, but I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue for him. I mean, every killer has some kind of map dependency to them, so yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the killer's power and the killer's perk and stuff like that. Let's take a look at the new survivor, which is Hadi Carr. She's like a podcaster, in case you were curious about her lore. Going to her perks, though, I'm not too thrilled about her perks as much as I am with the killer's perks. Her first perk, Inner Focus, is basically gives you a different way of seeing survivors near you from Bond and Empathy. It makes it so you can see survivors' scratch marks within 32 meters of you, and whenever another survivor loses a health state within 32 meters, you see the killer's aura for up to 5 seconds in Tier 3. Bond and... let me tell you something. Bond and Empathy are almost always going to be better than this perk, because... Why would you need to put 2 and 2 together to be able to get decent information when you can just run Bond and you see a survivor near you and you can see that they're like running and they're vaulting windows and stuff and they're injured, and you can basically get the general idea of where the killer is. With this perk, it's basically kind of swapped. You can get the general idea where the survivor is, but you only see the killer's aura for a small amount of time. Alert would be better. And you could literally run Alert, and I think it would be better than this, because at least with Alert, you don't really have to use your brain to get not the best information. And Bond is obviously better, and you can run the 2 perks together, and it would be like 3 times as good as this perk. Yeah, this perk's bad. I don't like it. Definitely needs a change. And then Residual Manifest basically makes it so that you get a guaranteed yellow flashlight when you rummage through an open chest. So it's basically like a pharmacy for a flashlight, but it also has an additional side effect where if you blind the killer will suffer from the blindness status effects. I really like this idea. I've always thought of, adding status effects that are typically only for Survivor to killers, and blindness for killer is arguably even more punishing than it is for Survivor. Think about it. If you get down within those next 30 seconds in Tier 3, the killer can't use barbecue, can't see generator auras. There's a lot of different aura reading perks that come up after you hook somebody or after you down somebody. So pretty decent perk. I don't think it's going to be OP, but I would definitely like to use this in a build once it comes out, because I think it would be really, really fun. And then Overzealous, after you cleanse a totem, basically you can repair generators faster. It says Overzealous deactivates after losing a health state by any means. The fact that this perk is already not the best and then deactivates when a health state is lost by any means, that's just... I would like it, first of all, I would like it if this part was taken out, because, think about Inner Strength, right? Doesn't matter. You cleanse a totem, the next time you get into a locker, you're going to guaranteed get a heal off. But with this perk, it doesn't even guarantee that. And also, the 6%, I'm pretty sure you have to repair about 2 to 3 generators before you're going to make up the time that you spent cleansing that totem. So, yeah, not the greatest. I think they should remove this part and buff the numbers up to probably about, 15%, at least. 15-20% would be a lot better. But 4, 5, 6%, it's just not going to make up that time for, cleansing the totem. Maybe if you ran this with Inner Strength, it'd be a little bit better, because... even if you don't get the guaranteed repair speed, you get the guaranteed heal state. So, I don't know. Definitely needs a change, though. These 2 definitely need to change. Residual Manifest, I do like this perk. So, definitely like this one the best out of the 3. And then the last thing about the new chapter, the new map. What do I think about the new map? I think it looks really, really great. As always, they hit the aesthetic pretty well. I think they did a really good job on the house. I like what they did on the outside of the maps being like a void. I really like that idea instead of like a wall that just blocks the outside of the map. I thought that was an interesting idea. So, yeah, haven't played on the map, of course, because I don't have DbD on PC, but so far, looks pretty good, and I don't think there's been any bugs, so we should be good. Unlike last year when there was a bunch of bugs for RPD map. Alright, and then the last thing, the actual 6th anniversary announcements, what's to come this next year of Dead by Daylight. I'm going to put the link to this website, because it was really, really helpful. Basically, gave me everything that was announced in the stream, and I did watch a little bit of the stream, but did forget some of the things. So what's to come within this new year of Dead by Daylight? We got Dead by Daylight Resident Evil Project W. It looks like they're like continuing something with Resident Evil. I forgot exactly what it was, but they showed like a trailer for like Jill and Nemesis in it, and it was something like that. Oh yes, it says down here, it says Dead by Daylight's team announced that they will partner with Resident Evil again following the first Resident Evil chapter released last year, featuring Leon Kennedy, Jill Valentine, and the Nemesis. The new project will be called Project W, but no more information has been announced about what it may contain. So, what I can infer is it's probably just going to be more Resident Evil stuff, probably some new skins, maybe some new characters. Maybe they'll make another chapter for Resident Evil, which I would really like to see. There is a lot of other Resident Evil characters that could be introduced. So, yeah, pretty exciting. I always liked the Resident Evil chapter. Definitely one of my favorite anniversaries for Dead by Daylight. And they got the 6th anniversary chapter. We already went over that. This is kind of stupid, but I wanted to mention it. They're making a dating site for Dead by Daylight, Hooked On You. A Dead by Daylight dating sim. Really, really weird. Doesn't matter. A dating simulator, sorry. Doesn't matter, but it's probably just a rack up a couple extra bucks for the team. The non-canon simulator will be entitled Hooked On You and will feature 4 of the game's original killer characters. The game will be developed by PsyOp, which has developed, it's really stupid, but I wanted to mention that because I thought that was kind of funny. Mori updates. From what I heard from the stream, basically they're going to be getting rid of the Killer Mori offerings, and they're going to make it so that at the end of every match, after you kill... Oh, I shouldn't say at the end of the match, but after you kill 3 survivors, I'm pretty sure they're going to make it into a Cypress Mori, a default Cypress Mori, where you can kill the last survivor. And I believe it's optional. It should be optional, but I like this change. Yeah, I like this change. I've never liked the Killer Mori offerings. I thought they were stupid, overpowered. Didn't matter how much you were gonna nerf them; they were always pretty overpowered. So I like this change, and it rewards the killer if they did a good job. So yeah, no problems with that change. And then probably the most exciting part to come this next year. This is getting me really excited for the next mid-chapter update this summer. Dead by Daylight perk and prestige updates. From what I heard, for the prestige part at least, what they're going to be doing is making it so, basically reducing the grind. When you prestige, you don't lose any of your perks, your offerings, your add-ons, your items, anything like that. And I believe there were a couple of other things. It was something like, if you unlock a perk on a survivor, it's something that helped reduce the grind when you're leveling up your characters. Overall, I like this. It incentivizes survivors, it incentivizes players to actually prestige. Before that, there was not really any incentivization to prestige. You just got a cool bloody skin. I prestige just because I like the grind and I like keep leveling up and stuff like that. So I liked prestiging, but for other people, they would just level up to level 50 because they didn't want to lose all the perks. Totally understand that. So I like this change. Incentivizes players to actually prestige now. And yeah, no problems there. Anything to reduce the grind in this game, because the grind is going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger if they don't make this change. Because there's obviously going to be more killers and survivors coming out and stuff like that. And then they said that they were going to change around 40 perks that are currently considered meta and will be updated in the near future. And here's kind of a list of the ones that they have in mind. I like this. I think the devs, this wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I like that they do this. I think one of my favorite parts of the mid-chapter updates is that they update bad perks and stuff like that. But I think the biggest mistake to their approach for that was in their mind, they think that if they're going to buff the bad perks, it's going to make the player base use a wider variety of perks and kind of shake up the meta. But this is not really the case. The better approach is to nerf the already meta perks, and this is I think this is a better approach to increasing the variety of perks throughout the player base and shaking up the meta a little bit. So I like this. I'm always up for perk changes in Dead by Daylight. Those are that's my most exciting part. That's the part I always get most excited about when they do these mid-chapter updates, so really excited for that. And then they said quality of life updates. In this new chapter release, they already added loadouts. You can make up to 3 loadouts for Killer and Survivor. Really like this. For those of you who don't know, loadout basically means that you can save like a perk build that you like or anything like that, so really good. And then Dead by Daylight will also implement matchmaking incentives, allowing players to earn bonus blood points for playing a side that is more needed at that time. For example, if significantly more killers are online than survivors, players could receive a bonus for playing as Survivor. I'm not sure if this is going to incentivize players to play a different side because, well, number one, if somebody likes to main somebody, they're going to play that person even if, or if somebody likes to main Survivor or Killer, they're going to play him no matter how long matchmaking takes. I mean, why, like, if this was the case, then there'd be no Survivor mains because obviously it takes a lot longer for Survivors to join a match than it does for Killer, and that's just because it takes a little bit longer to match you with other Survivors. So I don't know if it's going to incentivize them because how are they supposed to know what side is needed at the time? Lastly, DbD says that they plan on bringing bots to custom matches. I would really like if they brought it to online matches. I would really like it if they added that, but custom matches, this is a good start. I mean, at least I don't have to rack up, like, most of the time when I start a custom match, I only have, like, one other person, and I'm like, well, you want to just mess around in the custom match, and they're like, sure. Now, this makes it a lot easier to have 1 or 2 other people in the custom match, and you don't have to worry about, the game being boring and stuff like that. Now you have bots, so you never have to play alone with just one other person. Now you can always play with other people. And in fact, you can play by yourself against bots if you want to practice, so I like this. Dead by Daylight in-game outfits and merchandise. Basically, they're adding anime custom, anime... Oh my god, how did I already forget this? Anime outfits. No. Anime... What? Cosmetics, there we go, cosmetics. Don't care. Dead by Daylight mobile update, don't care. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what they're planning on for this next year. What do I think? Pretty excited. I think they missed the spot on some things, especially like the bots only for the custom matches so far. I wish they would have brought it a step forward, but other than that, I'm excited for the new chapter. I like this new killer. Perks aren't the best. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, they did introduce a new base game perk. I hope they continue to do this, but the new base game perk basically makes it so that, it's a killer base game perk, by the way. Basically makes it so that if you destroy a boon, or if you snuff a boon totem, that totem will be destroyed. Love this change. This is definitely going to be in the meta. I can definitely see this perk being in the meta, and is better than the 6 new perks introduced for the Killer and Survivor. So I really, really, really like that new perk. Other than that, as far as the anniversary announcements and the new chapter and stuff like that, I'm pretty excited, especially for the reducing of the grind and the Mori update and the perk changes. Really excited for that. I'm excited for everything overall, except for the anime cosmetics and the sim game and the mobile update. Don't really care for that, but perk updates is definitely what I'm most excited about. So yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comment section. I know I'm a little bit late. I didn't want to make this video like a day after the announcements were made because I knew there were going to be a few changes to come about after that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to be thinking of a new video to make coming next, and also the school year is coming to an end in just a couple of days, so that'll mean I will be able to upload a few more videos for you guys, and hopefully I'm going to be streaming some more Evil Dead this weekend. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Read the community post so that you can stay up to date with any potential future changes, and join the Discord. Link is in the About section of the YouTube channel. Other than that, like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you next time.